Community members, faith leaders, and advocacy groups are honoring 3 men who died during recent federal immigration enforcement actions. During a vigil in North Charleston yesterday, they spoke about Lorenzo Salgado Araujo, who died on July 7th during an enforcement operation. They also spoke about Juan Sebastian Guerrero, killed last Monday. And authorities say a 3rd man died Tuesday on a Florida highway while fleeing federal immigration agents. Organizers say the vigil was a time to grieve and call for answers. Live 5's Kavya Ramesh explains what community members are demanding.
The vigil was quiet at times and emotional throughout. People told me they came to mourn. They also came to support neighbors who may not feel safe speaking out. Organizers say the gathering was also a call for accountability. Speakers referenced 3 deaths reported in the past week, including one during an enforcement operation on July 7th. They also referenced 2 other deaths authorities say happened during or after encounters involving federal immigration agents.
I think it's just really important for us all to stand together to let them know that they're not standing alone, and that, you know, an attack on one of us is an attack on all of us.
Organizers say their focus now is supporting families. They also want transparency about what happened in each case. Reporting in the newsroom, I'm Kavya Ramesh, Live 5 News.